Hey, what's up? I'm Defiont with the UK and European update. The World Economic Forum, Davos, Switzerland. On the agenda, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies, stablecoin, digital assets, cryptocurrencies, a brand new financial system coming your way.
Cryptocurrencies have inspired us to rethink the way that we move and transmit value and what we can do with it. We have things like cryptocurrency, Bitcoin and Ethereum, which is not actually what we're talking about today. We're talking more about digital currency. The idea here is that we're talking about a form of currency that's perhaps public, issued by a central bank, or perhaps private, issued by an institution, but something that corresponds to what we know more commonly as government currencies or fiat currency.
Fiat currencies. She mentioned fiat. Fiat means by decree. So a government-backed system. All government-backed systems go to their true intrinsic value, zero.
I rise again, I'm afraid, to make the same old hoary speech that I've been making here for several years, and that is, it is my opinion that you do not really understand the concept of banking. All the banks are broke. Bank Santander, Deutsche Bank, Royal Bank of Scotland, they're all broke. And why are they broke? It isn't an act of God. It isn't some sort of tsunami. They're broke because we have a system called fractional reserve banking, which means that banks can lend money that they don't actually have. It's a criminal scandal, and it's been going on for too long. To add to that problem, you have moral hazard. A very significant moral hazard from the political sphere. And most of the problem starts in politics and central banks, which are part of the same political system. We have counterfeiting, sometimes called quantitative easing. But counterfeiting by any other name. The artificial printing of money, which if any ordinary person did, they'd go to prison for a very long time. And yet governments and central banks do it all the time. Central banks repress the amount of interest that rates are, so we don't have the real cost of money. And yet we blame the real retail banks for manipulating LIBOR. The sheer effrontery of this is quite astonishing. It's central banks. It's central banks that manipulate interest rates, Commissioner. And plus, underneath all this, we talk loosely, in a rather cavalier fashion, do we not, about deposit guarantees. So when banks go broke through their own incompetence and chicanery, the taxpayer picks up the tab. It's theft from the taxpayer. And until we start sending bankers, and I include central bankers and politicians, to prison for this outrage, it will continue.
Hence, we are now introducing a brand new financial system, a digital financial system, one that will be controlled by CBDCs, stablecoins, digital money.
Digital currency doesn't necessarily require a blockchain-like data structure behind it. We could implement digital currency in many different ways. In fact, many people say to me, don't we already have digital currency? I make payments electronically, I transfer money electronically. How is this any different? I think the key idea here is that we're talking about a different interface. We're talking about something that a user or a company can hold directly, not necessarily through another institution like a bank.
2021 will be the year of the digital asset, as the Eurozone has 17 trillion plus of negative yielding bonds. Who even heard of such a thing? They have to go digital. Christine Lagarde, head of the European Central Bank, mass digital adoption is just moments away.
Director Christine Lagarde says the global economy is in a very fragile state.
Introducing that digital euro would allow the euro system to be at the cutting edge of innovation. In theory, a CBDC, central bank digital currency, can be designed for wholesale or general purpose use. New technology can be used to make settling financial transactions more efficiently. it also opens the possibility of a retail CBDC, which would be very innovative in that it would be accessible to a much wider audience.
It's actually happening. Central bank digital currency is coming alive.
Brad Garlinghouse, who is the CEO of the financial technology company Ripple.
I also start by kind of explaining the basics of what Ripple is and what Ripple is not. And we're trying to solve a problem. We're selling technologies to banks and financial institutions to solve a cross-border payments problem. Our view is very much there needs to be interoperability globally. And even in a world of CBDCs, you still need interoperability to solve that problem. I think we would largely have few arguments with the idea that global payments today have not caught up with the age of the internet. We talk about slow. We've talked about the 14 days that Norman mentioned. The younger generations today are accustomed to be able to open up their smartphone and click on a button and have an ice cream delivered in 20 minutes. They aren't going to be very happy when it takes their payments, days and lots of costs to get to them. I think one of the reasons why Ripple has done well is we've been very focused on solving a specific problem for a specific customer, and we've been focused on that for a long time. And we've been fortunate, therefore, to get about 200 customers globally now working with us in one way or another.
Thanks very much, Brad. Well, I'd like to hear more about that. It certainly sounds promising, and I think we'd all like to know more about how counterparty risk is avoided here.
In economics, things take longer to happen than you think they will. And when they happen faster than you thought they could.
So that's your brief UK and European update. And so until the next time, I am Defiant on digital assets.